Right. It is time to get started. Happy Wednesday, everyone. My name is Kourtney Bassett. I'll be with you for the next 45 minutes for our Living Well Pilates class. All you need for today's class is a mat, a blanket, a towel, or some sort of cushioned surface. You don't need all of those, just one, something that gives you a little bit of cushion under your body as you move. That's one of my favorite things about mat Pilates is that you can do it pretty much anywhere at any time. All of these sessions are recorded and we actually post them up on our YouTube channel. So don't worry, you're not being recorded. It's just me and it'll be on our YouTube channel. That way you all can participate and engage with these offerings at any time. So any of our virtual fitness sessions are up on that YouTube channel. And I'm trying to think, we have a few more weeks of our summer programming, lots of upcoming events. We have pool night next week. Kickball is currently going strong and very competitive out at Penberthy Fields for faculty and staff. And so many other things coming up this summer, and we're starting to even prepare for the fall semester. So I'm happy you're all here. We're here for a little bit of movement, relaxation, time away from our to-do list. So allow yourselves that space to be present here today. And we'll go ahead and get started laying on our backs today. So as we lay on those backs, go ahead, find a comfortable seated position. I'm going to double check that I got everyone checked in for today. And as we lay on those backs, start to find a gentle, calming breath, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth, softening the belly, maybe even closing the eyes if that feels right for us today. Knees can be bent or extended out in front of us, whatever we prefer. We'll just take this moment for ourselves, taking time to focus in on what our body needs today. We can even start with a body scan, starting from the top of our head, acknowledging how our head feels, down to our nose and our sinus pressure, just acknowledging it, to our jaw, maybe noticing any tension or release, getting down to our throat and our shoulders. From there, our chest and arms, to the belly, perhaps noticing if we're hungry or ready for a snack. Or maybe we're full, down to our pelvis, maybe noticing any tightness that we may have, acknowledging any mobility that we might need to do today. And continuing to scan down through our quads and our hamstrings, acknowledging our knees, down to our calf muscles, to our ankles and our feet, just being mindful of how they've carried us around so far this week. From there, we start to expand that breath to a deep rib cage breath. Inhale through the nose, feel the ribs expand out towards opposite walls. And as we exhale, feel the ribs melt back down towards the spine. We'll keep this energizing breath going throughout the class today. At any point, you can come back to it. Once again, expand through the ribs, reaching out on the inhale. Exhale, pull those ribs back in towards the spine. From here, our hands will find themselves down by our sides, beginning to wiggle through the fingers and toes, maybe rolling out through those wrists and through the ankles. We'll just find some movement through the body. Keeping that breath, inhale the arms overhead. Exhale, bring them back towards your sides. Inhale, reach. Exhale, down. We start to warm up through the shoulders, syncing our movement with our breath. Big reach, inhale, and exhale down. From here, we'll start to nod the chin forward, head and shoulder blades lift off of the mat, and release back to the mat. Inhale, exhale, lift. Good. We'll continue this movement. Inhale, exhale, lift one more time. Hold the head and shoulder blades hovering above the mat. We move into our hundreds. Pumping the arms really strong and vigorously. Start to inhale for a count of 5, then exhale for a count of 5. It sounds like this. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale quick. Exhale quick. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Great job. You've done wonderful so far. You're more than halfway there. Keep your breathing synced up and know that at any point you could take the knees into a tabletop position or maybe even out to 45 degrees. Find what's going to work best for you for these last 2 rounds. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Final time. And release the arms all the way overhead. As we exhale, bring the right knee to the chest. We'll continue to alternate those legs, reaching in opposition, then hugging one knee in tight to the belly. Starting to find some mobility here through the hips. Good. I noticed I didn't start my workout, and well, sometimes that is just nice motivation to ensure rings are closed or whatever device we're maybe using, and motivate us to keep going throughout the day. Big inhale, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, left knee into the belly, and then the right knee follows suit. With both knees at the chest, let's rock from side to side, finding a gentle massage at the low back. From here, we'll place our feet down towards the mat. Hands come wide, and we'll sway the knees from one end of the room to the other. Beautiful. I love this internal and external rotation at the hips, and then also just a great stretch for the low back. We can take this slow, or we could take it a bit faster, whatever you prefer. One more on either side. And from here, we'll extend the legs all the way across the mat. Hands come over the chest for roll-ups. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, nod the chin. Peel your spine off of the mat, bone by bone by bone. Reach for expansion. And then come back down, one vertebra at a time. Inhale, reach. Exhale, roll yourselves up. Another great option here, use those elbows and wrists to help you lift up and fold over. Do the same thing on the way down. That's another great option here. Or my favorite option, bring a knee to the chest. Use that leg as leverage to help you mobilize the spine, engage the core as you lift up and as you lower down. Rolling up, reach, 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 and over the toes we go. Come on down. Let's do 2 more of these. And as you all do that, I'm going to double check that I have everyone checked in today on our app. Thank you all for registering for class today. We love seeing participants join us virtually and in person. And last one, we come all the way back to the mat. The right knee folds into the belly and we move into leg circles. Right leg extends out to 45 degrees. Start to trace your big toe around the outside of an imaginary dinner plate. Yes, it's imaginary, making a circle about the size of a dinner plate here. Movement comes from the hip. Belly is strong and stable. We'll do 2 and 1. Reverse it. Take that leg circle in the opposite direction. Keep the crown of your head reaching back behind you long. 3, 2, and 1. Fold that knee back into the chest and we'll switch legs. From here, the left leg comes into the belly. We'll roll out through that ankle and then send the left foot out to 45 degrees. Same thing here. Moving into those small dinner plate size circles, tracing our big toe along the outside of that imaginary dinner plate. Core stays strong. Bring that belly towards your spine and then reverse the direction of those leg circles. Good. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bringing the left knee into the chest. All right, we send the left leg out. Right leg comes back in. This time we're going to do some larger leg circles. Right leg reaches towards the ceiling. We'll bring that leg across the body and around. Notice how big these circles can be. Maybe think about tracing your toe on the outside of a beach ball this time. 1 more in this direction. At the top, reverse it. The leg falls out. We lift up to the top. 3 more. 2. And 1. At the top, the knee folds into the belly. And we switch sides once again. Left knee comes in. Extend the left foot towards the ceiling. Bring it across the body and around. Stabilizing through the pelvis and through the core, but mobilizing through the hip. We have 1 more in this direction. Then reverse it. Take that leg out wide. Remember, that imaginary beach ball is what we're striving for. 2. And 1, knee comes into the belly, and we'll keep that leg there as we move into our Pilates 5 ab series. All right, knee is at the belly. We'll take our hands to that shin bone. Right leg hovers above the mat, extend and switch legs. Good, elbows stay wide. Head and shoulder blades can be lifted or down on the mat, whichever you prefer. Extend and switch. We'll do 3, 2, and 1 more on either side. Both knees come into the chest. You can just hug the knees in tight for double leg stretch. Reach the feet and hands out in opposition. Sweep the arms around. Hug the knees tight. Good. Reach out in opposition. Pull in nice and strong. Good. Let's do 3 more. Out and in as I hit this wall over here. Out and 1 more time. Reach. Pull in, take the toes towards the ceiling. Find your hand at your calf muscle or at your hamstring. We lower 1 leg and switch. We call this scissors or single straight leg stretch. It's one of my favorites because we also get a stretch through that hamstring, but the work comes in for the core as we guide that leg towards the mat. Yes, alternate. 3, 2, 1 more time. Both feet come together, hands behind the base of the skull or by your sides for leg lower and lift. Now we can take a slight bend here in the knees if that feels comfortable for us. Lower, lower, and lift. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. 2, and 1. Fantastic. Knees pull to the belly. Hands come back to the base of the skull. Actually, we're going to take our feet to the floor. There we go. I'm going to transition a little bit. This is crisscross. We're taking our right shoulder over the body towards our left knee. Come back to center and come down. Lift up. Rotate left shoulder to right knee. Back to center and down. Good. So it's up, across, in, lower, up, across, center, down. Wonderful job. You guys are making fantastic moves here through this Pilates 5 ab series. Remember, you only have this as your last exercise, and this is your final one. Bring it down. Good. From here, hands by our sides, feet press into the mat. We move into a bridge. Lift the hips, the glutes engage, and then we lower down. So we come straight up and lower. You can walk those heels a little bit closer towards your bottoms if that feels right for you. All 10 of our toes, or all of our toes, should be connected with the mat. We lift and lower down. Fantastic job. Keeping those glutes engaged here. Now I have an option for all of us. We can stay right here in this glute bridge where we're lifting and lowering, taking these at our own pace. They could be slow, they could be quick. Either way, we have control of our body. We've got core engagement, so the belly is strong, and we feel those bottoms or our glutes activating. All right, that's one option. Next option, hold your hips lifted. And we'll do a little balance challenge with something called bridge marching, where we bring one foot up, stacking the knee over the hip, bring it down, switch to the other side. You may want to give this a try. Maybe we try it 1 or 2 times on either leg. If we like it, stay here. If not, always remember you can go back to that basic bridge, or at any time, focus on your breath. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. All right, final time, both feet connect with the floor. Hips come to the mat as well, with those hands by our sides. Resume that rotational stretch, allowing your knees to fall from one end of the room over to the other. Maybe you can even let your eye gaze look in the opposite direction of your knees, really allowing that spine to rotate. Great job. All right, as we bring the knees back up to center, we'll take one knee into the belly, use it as leverage to lift up into a seated position. It's our first time being upright for the first portion of class. So get your bearings. If you need some water, I encourage you, grab a sip. Take a big inhale through the nose. Exhale, let's sit up really tall. We'll reach our shoulders back and down the spine. Lifting up through that rib cage, our arms float forward. We start with spinal mobility here, rounding the forehead towards our knees, and then immediately stacking the spine back up. So we roll down bone by bone by bone. At the bottom, lift back up, one vertebra at a time. Our feet can be together, they can be hip distance apart, or further, whatever your preference is today. Use your breath, inhale to prepare. Exhale, roll down with that spinal articulation. Stack it back up one more time. Inhale. Exhaling, we lift tall, tall, tall. Roll out the shoulders. All right, you can even shake out those legs. From here, we're bringing our feet about hip distance apart or toward the corners of our mat. Actually, I'm going to turn and face you all, just because that maybe will be a little better for me in this space. All right, feet are about hip distance apart, arms reach out long. Rib cage is lifted. Now rotate, roll down, reach for the pinky toe, come back up, rotate, and roll down, reach for that pinky toe on the other side. So if you've been with me for the whole summer, you know that I'm in a rather tight space. So I keep hitting the wall behind me, but that's okay. Hopefully we're all adjusting to our environment and taking what we need from our movement, remembering that the importance here is the rotation and then the spinal articulation as we roll down. We're thinking about progress in this class, not perfection. I know sometimes think of Pilates, or we think of Pilates as being, very, very rigid, asking for perfection. That's not the case in how I lead. I want us to progress. I want us to feel energized after we leave. And I want our bodies to feel some freedom. Bring it back in, roll the shoulders back. Good. Take a big inhale, reach one ear over towards one shoulder. Get a little stretch through those scalene muscles in the neck. We could even walk our hand out a little bit further for a deeper stretch. And release. All right, opposite ear reaches towards our opposite shoulder. I'm just adjusting my seated position a little bit. Now walk that hand out. Feel a long stretch through the side of the neck into the shoulder. And release. All right, now we will fold one knee in and extend a leg out. Get a little stretch here. We sit up tall. From here, hinge forward at your hips. We come forward, our spine is long and in neutral. Take a breath. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. And then we'll gently rotate our body towards the extended leg. All right, so you might feel a deep stretch through this side body, or maybe we feel a deeper stretch through the leg. If you're ready, when you're ready, walk your hands down towards the foot. Oh yes, really sinking into our stretch today. Take an inhale through the nose, exhale, fold into this stretch further. From here, we'll bring that front arm, opening it up to the side of the room for a nice side body stretch. Inhale through the nose, exhale, stacking it up nice and tall. Switch your legs. One leg folds in, the other extends. We lift up through the rib cage. Big inhale. Exhale, shift forward at the hips. Remembering we've got a nice inner thigh stretch happening here. We're keeping the spine long, continuing to breathe. In our own time, we can gently rotate our torso towards the extended leg, holding it here for a brief moment, just acknowledging how this feels to move here. And then when we're ready, if we're ready, walk the hands down to the foot. Feel that side body stretch or us folding deeper. Use your exhale to fall further into your stretch. And then from here, we'll bring that front arm forward, opening up into our lateral stretch for the side body. Big inhale through the nose. Exhale, lift up nice and tall. Fantastic. All right, so we're going to continue into our side lying series. So we'll shift over so that our spine is in line with the back edge of our mat. So from the top of our head down to our bottoms, we align with this back edge of our mat. But our feet come forward and they're slightly in front of us. I always bring them forward to the front corner of my mat. It's a good angle or visual. Our eye gaze is looking forward, rib cage is lifted, top leg starts to lift and lower. Starting to work through those outer thighs here. We call them our abductors. This top arm can be here for stability as we work through some range of motion in the hip. But as we're working through that lower portion of our body, our outer thigh, core is still strong. Our belly is engaged. We've got our shoulders stacked one on top of the other. Same thing with our hips. They're right on top of one another. 3, 2, and one top leg lifts and pulses towards the ceiling. Quick pulse, lift up an inch and down an inch. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Point the toe and circle the leg forward. brushing those inner thighs together with every circle. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and reverse it. Keep it taking back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Top leg stays lifted. Kick forward, kick back, kick forward, kick back. Good. We're mobilizing at the hip here. Flexing the foot forward, flexing it back. I just got a notification that my computer is going to die. So let me double check. All right. I think we may make it. We'll see. All right. Bring your top leg forward, shake it out. If not, I'll get you guys set up in an exercise and I'll run and grab my charger. All right, from here, bottom leg lifts and lowers. I never had that happen in one of my classes before. Usually my computer's really good at holding a charge. Maybe I should knock on wood for that. Inner thigh is working. This top knee is lifted off of the mat and in line with our hip. That helps keep our spine in alignment. We'll do 3, 2, and 1. Hold that bottom leg, pulse it towards the ceiling. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Point the toe and circle back. And reverse it. 3, 2, 1, and release. Beautiful. Everyone take those legs one on top of the other. And I just want us to think about lifting up through our side body and releasing. Lift up and release. Good. Lift that rib cage. Very small movement. One more time. Hold it, hold it, hold it. And bring it down. Fantastic. All right. I'm going to flip you guys up and over into a quadruped position before we go to the other side. I'm going to have to go find my charger. Toes are tucked under, round the spine up, and then drop the belly through. Find that spinal articulation. And while you all do that, I'm going to sneak away to my office, grab my computer charger, and I'll be right back. I apologize. One moment. Are those cat and cows coming? Keep that spinal articulation going. If you need to take a moment to breathe or rest, know that that's always available to you. And my friends who've been with me all semester, you can vouch for me. This has never happened before. All right, last time. Hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips, round the spine up. Drop the belly through and come back into your seated position. All right, so the same side that we were just doing all of that side lying work on, we're going back to that side. So don't get mixed up. We're not switching sides yet. Instead, we're coming onto the elbow here. Shoulders stacked right above our elbow, knees are bent. We're going to work through something that reaches into our external rotators of our hip. So our hip strength and hip mobility is really important as we age. This gets us into external rotation. Feet are together. We're pressing our knee back actively. Belly is strong. Our rib cage is lifted. I just adjusted my shirt so you can see that we're lifted through this side body here. Good. And we're just actively pressing back, feeling the glute engage back through our posterior chain. We'll do 2 more and 1. Now, staying here, lift the heel and bring it back together. Good. Lift the heel and come back together. Now, what we've done here is we're starting to work into internal rotation of the hip. So the heel lifts and we internally rotate. Again, this internal and external rotation aids in strengthening our pelvic floor, all of those pelvic muscles, inner and outer thighs, and we'll do 2. And last one, lift, heels together, knees come down. Fantastic job. I want us to find a side plank. All right, so Side planks can be done from the knees. They can be done with the legs all the way out, or perhaps with a staggered stance of our feet. I want you to find the option that works best for you. I prefer bottom knee bent, top leg extended. It's my personal preference. But we're coming to our first side plank on this side. Hips are lifted, shoulder is still over our elbow, and our head is in alignment with our spine here. Good, hold it up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hips come down, knees fold in, and we're gonna fold over into that side body stretch. Fantastic job. All right, let's flip around and come on over to the opposite end of our mat, continuing our sideline work. Once again, our back or our spine aligns with the back edge of the mat. Feet come forward just slightly. We start with that top leg lifting and lowering. As we get the leg moving, remember our eye gaze is forward, rib cage is lifted, shoulders and our hips, they're stacked one on top of the one below it. Good. Keep moving, keep that stability by pressing your top arm into the mat right in front of you, or pressing your bottom foot towards the ground. We'll do 3, 2, and 1. Top leg pulses towards the ceiling, up an inch, down an inch. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Point the toe and circle the top leg forward, brushing those inner thighs together with every circle. 3, 2, 1, and reverse it. Brush it back. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Top leg comes forward. We're going to get a mild fascial release here. The top knee is going to stay lifted and in line with this top hip, so that as we start to work through those adductors or our inner thighs in the bottom leg, we also maintain spinal alignment. Good. Continue to keep that rib cage lifted. Maybe imagine that you could thread a piece of paper between your rib cage and the floor below. We'll do 4, 3, 2, and 1. Pulse that bottom leg up towards the ceiling. 3, 2, and 1. Point the toe and circle the foot forward. Keep that mobilization going. 2, 1, and reverse it opposite direction. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bottom leg comes down. Top leg is going to extend. Now remember, this is where I left you last time to run and grab my charger. But instead of going into cat and cow, we come up onto that elbow, shoulder over the elbow, find those clam shells, or that abductor, or external rotation at the hip. We have our heels together, knees are bent. Take the top knee back behind you, and then bring it back to center. Keep that head in your spinal alignment, rib cage is lifted. We'll do 5. 4 more. There's 3, 2, and 1. Holding this lovely diamond shape, lift that top heel so that you internally rotate at the top leg. Bring it back together. Lift and lower. Good. And keep that stability at the core. Lift the heel and then reconnect. Trying our best to keep that diamond shape. We'll do 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Bring it down, knees together. Find your favorite plank position. Remember, you can do it with those knees bent, legs both extended, and then the hips lift up, or a staggered stance, or you know my favorite now. Bottom knee bent, top leg extended. I don't know why this is my favorite, but it really is. We keep the shoulders stacked over the elbow. Spinal alignment is strong. I think this is my favorite because we can start to add a lower lip. We're not doing that today. Maybe next week. Might be fun to add in next week. Good. 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hips come down. Bend your knees in. As you come up, fold into your side body stretch. And release. Great work. All right, we're coming into quadruped again, just like I had you do earlier. Now, with those knees below the hips, toes are tucked under, hands below the shoulders, we start to shift our hips back. Notice how that feels through the bottom of your foot. One of my favorite stretches right there, just an option to open up and stretch the foot. Regardless of the shoes you've been wearing or the work we've been doing all day, it's good to mobilize our feet. So you can transition forward and then back. And do 3, 2, and 1. Staying up in quadruped, draw your belly towards your spine and try to hover your knees above the mat. Good, so I'll show you guys. My knees are hovering. I'm actively pressing the floor away. Core is really strong here for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Knees come down. Get a little break. When you're ready, cover those knees again in 3, 2, and 1. Press the feet and the hands into the mat. Draw that belly button towards the spine. Hold it 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. Toes together, knees come apart, and we shift back into a rest pose. From this rest pose, I just want you to feel and notice the low back and the tension that we're releasing there. Relax the shoulders and the belly. Maybe even roll out through your wrists. And as we come back up, we have 2 rounds of push-ups. So find your favorite push-up position. It could be here in quadruped. We are starting with tricep push-ups. So we could look like this. We'll walk the hands further forward. It could be like this or a full push-up position. Yeah. So find your favorite. And as we find that favorite option, elbows come down past our rib cage and we lift back up. Lower and lift. Let's do 5 more. 2. And the last one, when you're done with your final push-up, take the knees apart once again, toes together, shift back into your rest pose. Once again, maybe roll out through those wrists. Reach the arms long for that stretch. And we have 1 more round of push-ups. This time they'll be wide chest push-ups. So when you're ready, approach your preferred push-up position. Remember quadruped, slightly forward. You choose. Let's take off. We've got 6 push-ups total. Look down and up at your own pace. Remember, as soon as you are done with your 6 push-ups, you can head back into that rest pose. Once again, knees apart, toes together, we shift back. And breathe. From here, we'll take that right hand and running it through the window that our left arm has created here. And a nice, simple stretch for the shoulder and the back. Embrace the rotation we have here. And then slowly alternate to the other side. The left hand comes through, threads through the window that our right arm has created. And notice that shoulder and back stretch. Breathe simply. And release. From here, both hands come forward. Hips lift, toes tuck under. We'll press our hips to the ceiling for down dog. Noticing this lovely stretch for our posterior chain through those hamstrings and the calf muscles. We can even alternate knee bends here if that feels right for us today. And stay here for a few more moments. 3, 2, 1. Shifting forward, the knees come down. But we're going to bring that right knee forward. Lift our chest up and come into a kneeling position. From this kneeling position, I want us to think about actively curling our pelvis under. We'll feel our glutes engage. And maybe notice how the front of that hip is opening up. We're going to take both arms overhead, reaching for the ceiling. And from there, hands come down to that front foot, and we'll sink into an anterior hip flexor stretch here. It's really working in the front portion of that foot. Now, as we come back up out of our kneeling position, we'll slide the right leg back, left leg comes forward. Once again, find your kneeling position, shoulders stacked over the hips. Curl the pelvis under. Remember, that's going to help open up through that hip flexor complex here. Glutes are engaged. We'll reach the arms over your head, finding long, rested stretch there. And then from there, the hands come back down towards the mat. We'll sink our hip forward, that anterior stretch. Slowly but surely, take the left leg back, rock it in, and find your favorite seated position. Having the legs extended, both legs crossed, or one leg out, one leg in, whatever your preference. Just start to roll the shoulders back. Maybe even letting your eyes close, calming yourselves for the last few moments. And then we'll roll the shoulders forward. Taking a big inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, bring the arms down. Inhale, reach. One more time, breathe in. And relax. Fantastic job today, you all. Thank you so much for bearing with me as I lost battery power, but I'm glad I didn't lose you all or our class. We got to keep going, which is the best part. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, again, my name is Kourtney Bassett. I oversee the Living Well program. You're welcome to reach out to us at any time. And remember, we've got our YouTube channel. Follow us there or find our videos there. You can participate in yoga, Pilates, stretch and de-stress, anything you'd like on your own. And you'll have a wonderful Wednesday. Take care.